So
Mhm.
let me make sure that we've gone live here. Okay, we're live on here. All right. Yep, there we go. I'm on the podcast channel also to see if we get any additional questions.
Okay.
All right. All right. Awesome. So this is Instagram Live. We're streaming on Instagram. We're talking to Thomas Betting, right? That's how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah.
And this is episode 4 of the Spotters podcast. Thanks, and thanks for joining. Thanks for being on
Thank
the
you for
live today.
thank you for the invite.
Yeah, it's I'm really excited to talk to you. I saw that you were at the helicopter. What was that thing called? Helicopter?
Celtic convention. It's HAI. HAI.
HAI.
Yeah.
So what got you? I mean, I know this is maybe a silly question, but what got you into aviation and in journalism?
hmm So aviation, it's my dad. Growing up, he always had a passion for planes. He's a plane spotter. He's the one who taught me everything I know about taking pictures of planes. But when I was a toddler, I used to play with his little model planes. Just the first movie that I remember watching at that moment just fell into. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I was like 3, 4 years old. I was like, planes, planes, planes. When I was about 5, camera, and we started going to the airport to take some pictures. This is back in Brazil. And then, yeah, he's just my biggest inspiration. He taught me everything I know. Journalism. His dad was a journalist. His brother is a journalist as well. So now I'm following into the footsteps. And he works, well, he's the publisher for Flap and Zillion magazine, and now I'm one of their employees, one of their photographers.
That's awesome. I mean, you've joined the family business for sure. It. Sorry about that. I just realized that we weren't live when we first started. Sorry, this is the first time we've done a stream, so it's we're trying to working out the bugs as we go. We're live now on Instagram. I can't hear
Okay.
myself. I can only hear you. So that's another difficulty there. So we were just saying that you went to helicopter convention and you were there to cover. Oh man, there's such a big delay here. It's hard to keep track of. I have to not look at the video. You were there to cover. Your dad was doing work for his publication, right? Is it his publication or is he just the editor there at the at Flap?
Vacation. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then I was
So
there just doing like the advertising part, and I was doing the photography of the statics and just the booths and stuff like that.
all right, awesome. Thank you, N Tower. You could hear us. Okay, so I could see everyone's chat, but I can't hear ourselves via this. So yeah, it's a work in progress. We're trying out different things. Um, so how you've got into aviation? You watched Top Gun like the rest of us, aviation spotters. You fell in love with the F-14. I mean, what is not to love of that beautiful jet, the Flying Turkey? um, tell me more about you. I haven't spoken to you
Mhm.
um, directly. I don't think we've ever met, but we're both in Miami.
We've both been at the same places. I just don't think we ever crossed paths.
Yeah. It
A little bit more about myself. I'm 22. I was born in Brazil. We immigrated to the US back in 2016, so I've been here for 8 years now. I go to school at the University of Florida. While I'm doing that, I'm also always with jets. Commercial aviation, it still interests me, and looking for anyone has any connections, let me know.
Well, I work for the government, so the job postings that you can find if you want a government job, the FA has a bid out right now for a flight data communication specialist at Miami Center. You could find that job at usajobs.gov. So if you're interested in finding a government job, you could search that webpage. Um, but I'm not here to plug the FA. So tell me more about yourself. So how you're using a camera for photography.
Mm-hmm.
What's your gear look like,
So my
or
gear,
what is your gear?
it's a Nikon D. She's an old girl. She's from 2012. So she's still kicking. For the lens,
Oh yeah.
I mainly use my 150 100. It's been amazing since I got it. I started off shooting with a 300 millimeter. That's enough for commercial. I started off with commercial, and
Hmm.
then as I moved here, I became more interested in military. Common to see stuff in Brazil. There's not too much of that. And then 100 millimeter, it was good, but still just not enough. And 600 from what fits it perfectly.
I think that was one of our questions that we got in the podcast channel. Um, Let me see real quick. So Alf Photos here had asked, "What's your main gear for aviation photography?" So you're using the D800 and the 150 to 600. Is it a prime lens, or is it like what's
Just
your aperture for that?
I think it's 6.3. One
Okay,
point
so
1.5, 6.3.
okay. And what are you
If I'm not
doing
mistaken.
for? Sorry, say again.
No, I said if I'm not mistaken about the
Oh,
lens.
gotcha. And what are you using for the convention photos?
For that, I ended up using my dad's camera. He had a Z7 with a 28 millimeter lens, 2000, I believe. And that camera is crazy. It's insane. It was a big switch, and that's probably gonna be my next one.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been using a Nikon for years now, and I
Which one do
fell in
you
love
shoot
with
with?
their. I use a Nikon D300
Okay.
and a Tamron. I think it's a 100 or 400. Let me see real quick. Let me
Nice.
verify. Trust but verify. Yeah, 100 to 400 f4.5
Okay.
is the. But I had for many years, probably about 10 years, I used an 18 to 200 millimeter for
Mm-hmm.
commercial also, and then some military photos, either in an air show or at the base at Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Gas
That's awesome.
station photog had asked, "What kind of lens do you recommend for a beginner?"
For I would say 400. Um, well, for a beginner and someone who's very into, but it is good when they're pretty far away and you're still trying
Hmm.
to learn to track the jets. That's the hardest part when you're learning. There's a bit because when you do a high speed pass, Mach 0.95, it's hard to keep track. And if you're all the way zoomed in, it's even harder. So I think start off and then slowly move up. Don't just instantly 600. learning very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had rented just a 600 from Nikon for an Orlando air show, and it
Mm-hmm.
was one. It was heavy. It felt like it was like 4 pounds. It was a prime lens, and I have a crop sensor body, so I have like a 1.5x on the D300, and it felt almost like 900 millimeters, and it was just too large for an air show like that's flying right over your head like Orlando. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
makes
400 is good. I've found it to be perfect for air shows and also just perfect for shooting at a base or at the airport. You know, like you said, it is. I haven't yet experienced the high speed flyby that you would get in a canyon, um, but it's good to not have to be zoomed in to the cockpit and then try to catch
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole rest of the aircraft. How was so you were out in California? How was without sharing all the spots? Because I'm sure the West Coast guys don't want to have you share everything.
Mhm.
It was that your first trip to the canyon,
Yeah, ever. First time shooting ever.
and
Sorry.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying.
Not it's cool depending on the lighting because sometimes you look downrange and you're like see the jet and then you realize the whole time you've been tracking it.
Oh, wow.
You're not, so it's you blink you miss it.
Did you go to just one spot on the Sidewinder?
I was only there for a day, and the hike was so just stick to one. It would have been better because in the middle of the day the lighting goes bad, but I was already there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely I have to try that one day. Take a
You
trip
should.
out west.
I recommend it and everyone.
Rocket Man had asked in the channel, "What is your rarest catch and what's your best spotting story?"
Okay. So rarest catch. It's not rare for a lot of people in the sense that a lot of people got to see it, but to me it's one very dear, and it's the Japanese F. I went to Hyakuri, which is I think 2 hours north of Tokyo, back in for their sundown, and it was pretty it was unforgettable. That's what I had never seen the F4 before, so it was like my first time seeing it, and I just fell in love with the plane. Amazing looking plane, smokiness. It was great. And for the other part of the question, craziest story.
Yeah, what's your best spotting story?
I think it happened last week at the Sidewinder. So on the way up with the guys around and saying, "Oh, Tomcat is gonna do it. Like, we're gonna blink, and an F-14 is gonna be a Tomcat, a Tomcat." About 2 hours ago, just to say it, an F-14 did not. But
Oh, come on.
2 hours, 2 hours 35, and we take some pictures. And then I look closer in, and it turns out it's called the Tomcats. It's a Navy squadron. It's a Marine
Yeah.
squadron. Sorry, A311. And they're all looking at me, calling me the prophet and stuff like that because I don't seen any pictures before. So it was just funny that the day that I mentioned coming by, two of them come by.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm looking up the squadron right now on Wikipedia, and unfortunately, it looks like VMFA 311 never flew the F-14.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Marines never got to fly them. I think.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just the Navy. The Marines did have the AV-8B Harrier.
Mhm.
The Harrier, that always gives me that True Lies vibe, you know.
Yeah, it's an amazing looking thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the F-35C, that's pretty awesome. That's that the VTOL uh,
The C is
variant.
the VTOL. I think is the F-35B.
Uh, yeah, let me see, F-35. Carrier base, catapult assisted, larger wings, foldable tip. Okay, so the B, yes, you're correct. The B is the short takeoff and vertical landing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm guessing the A's are for Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently, and I haven't confirmed it yet, but the three variants of the F-35 will be at the Miami Beach Air Show this year.
I'm looking forward to that. Should be really good.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. Do you have any other shows or trips planned for this year?
I have a couple. So I think I'm going to be able to do MacDill, which should be now in the end of March. So I'm looking forward to that. Seeing homies in the chat. But after that, Bill, Sun and Fun, Miami. For July, I have the Air Tattoo plane, Riot. And
Oh,
then for,
awesome.
yeah, I think that's it for this year as of now.
Very cool. I think for sure I'll be at this McDill Air Fest. I won't be able to go on the 29th, but I'll be there on the 30th. Let me confirm the dates on that. Yeah, 29th. It's also Good Friday, but there's an air show at McDill. And the 30th, and then 31st is Easter, but there's no air show. And I doubt that these aircraft are going to depart on Easter. They're probably going to leave April 1st.
True.
But I'll be at McDill, confirmed, for the 30th. I'll be driving up there from Miami around 4 o'clock in the morning to get there. And then Sun and Fun. I was going to go on the 9th, but depending on what happens um, at work, my unions requested me to go to New Jersey
Okay.
for a technical conference. So um, if I don't go, I'll be at Sun and Fun on the 9th. But if I do go, I'll be in New Jersey. Hopefully, I catch those F-16s up there, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah. They should all be flying in the beginning of Sun and Fun time.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'll be at Miami Beach. I'll probably be at Fort Lauderdale. I'll be at every other local Florida air show this year. But no trips planned right now. I was gonna go to Red Flag. The lineup for that seems pretty cool. Let me look that up. Red Flag 24/2. I think it's supposed to be. Let me see, 24-2. I should have this all open before I start the podcast, right? So it's between March 11th through the 22nd, and it's been confirmed to have F-35As, F-15s, F-16s from Nellis, being the red team. The blue team is going to be F-35s from the Royal Netherlands Air Force. and also Lakenheath in the UK, which would be pretty cool. And apparently a Rafale, Rafale
Rafale.
from
Yeah,
French Air Force. Yeah,
yeah.
Rafale. So that'd be
Should be.
pretty cool to see
Yeah,
one of those out there with the mountains in the background.
for them to red flag, you most definitely should get to see like I'd say 60 aircraft. You catch them taking off and landing. That's about Nellis. It's fairly easy to rotate between. It's a, 5 times in the past 4 years or 5 years, and it's
Yeah.
always when you go, you catch something different.
Did you go last year?
Yeah, I was there 3-2 when the Israelis were there.
I was there for 23 dash two dash one. Oh man, now I
Was
got
it
it.
the Australians?
Yeah, the Australians.
It's always the Australians and the
Yeah.
British for the first one.
Huh. It's always that way, or it has been that way.
For the past, I'd say 10 years, I'd say. Pretty sure it has been that
Oh
way.
wow.
And then -2 is when they invite other European countries, Italy, Spain, France. I don't think they've been here in a long time, but hoping they.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm looking at the lineup here for 24-1 that just finished in January, and it looks like the UK Royal Air Force with the Typhoons and New South Wales, where it was over here. The Italians F-16s were in town, which would have been really cool to see. I'm still I'm still wanting to catch a MQ-9
You could go to Crete.
or
It's pretty close.
yeah, Creech. I drove by Creech, um, and it doesn't look very inviting.
It's not. But from what I know, there's like a gas station. You go around there in your car. If something comes by, you take a picture and get going.
Yeah,
I think that's the best idea.
yeah. It's the radios were quiet. It was like an eerie quiet. You're right next to an airbase, and there's nothing flying. There's nothing on the ramp,
Yeah.
and you don't hear anything on the radar on the radio, and you're just like, I have a
And also,
bad feeling about this.
the drones are very quiet as well, so you might even be on approach and you don't even notice them until they're really close to you.
Yeah. Um, let's see what other questions do we get here. Um, how long have you been doing journalism, and what was you had told me what the publication was, but tell everyone else what
Mm-hmm.
publications you've been
So
for.
the magazine is called Flap International. It's a Brazilian magazine that has been leading the industry for 6 decades, if I'm not mistaken. This is what it looks like. They're not, from what I know, they're not for sale here. But yeah, I've been working for them for around 2 years, covering air shows and certain exercises.
I had seen Flap International on the internet, and
Mm.
everything is in Portuguese. Is there anything
Yeah.
that you've written for that's in English that I could read? I don't speak Portuguese.
Um, it's all in Portuguese text, so I could translate them and send them to you if you want.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see some of the photos or some articles that you've written.
Mm-hmm.
Amarillo Aviation had asked in the channel any tips or tricks for getting published.
I think the best tip I could give is to always be like on the lookout for opportunities where you'll catch something unique or something that's new. I think that's the easiest and fastest way to get published. You could have a picture that no one else had. The day that the B-21 flew for the first time. a lot of those people that were out there got published into
Hmm.
different magazines. So that's one of the ways. Another way is to make connections, get to know people that are doing this, see if there's an opening coming up, or just try to put your work out there. Make sure you have a portfolio, publish your pictures with people, get to know the people, because in this community, so many people work in so many different aspects of it. You never know which one they might work in. That would
Yeah,
be my.
that's a great tip is to network, talk to the people that are next to you, talk to the people at the shows. Um, you know, it's very it's very interesting. I spoke to a few people about this podcast, and I said, hey, you know, you should get on, and they're like, well, I'm not going to mention any names because I'm sure some of you guys are watching right now, but it's like, oh, you know, it's hard for me to talk online with other people. And I said, well, you know, you go to the show and we talk to random people at shows all the time. I mean, I talk to a bunch of random people all the time. And
Mhm.
it's the same way. We're talking to a bunch of people we have yet to meet on here. There's a few people that have joined in. And it's great to meet someone that has the same interest that we do. Um, if they're at an air show, it's because most likely they love the sound of freedom and the smell of jet fuel in the morning, and they probably love the F-14, just like most of us do. So it's and you never know who you're going to meet at an air show. It could be a professional photographer that is open to sharing um, their you know um, their tricks for capturing images or tips on how to get published or meeting an aircraft an owner that just flew in for the day and he's like, oh yeah, I'm at Sun and Fun is huge. um, every year I plan on going to Sun and Fun, and every year something happens and I'm unable to go, and I'm just like, man, I really want to catch this jet. I really want to catch, I like seeing the different exhibitors there, and I like to talk to them.
Mhm.
Um, I'm always searching for knowledge, so um, we'll see what happens if I can go this year or not. Yeah, I'm kind of torn.
You should.
I know that I really wanted to catch Polaris flight team, but I'm happy that they're flying at Fort Lauderdale. So if I miss them at Sun and Fun, I'll be able to still catch them in Fort Lauderdale.
That's good. They have a really interesting lineup of jets. Alpha Jet,
Oh
MiG
yeah,
29, L-39. Really cool. I think they have an L-39.
yeah, I think they do. I mean, they have the MiG-29,
Yeah.
and there was Alpha Jets down in Key West at the beginning of this year that I was able to see Canadian Alpha Jets.
Hmm.
So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I got
Um,
there a day late to catch them. I saw them on Fly Radar tomorrow when I heard they had the previous day.
yeah,
Happens.
yeah, that's always you never know. I mean, I don't get notice of what's down there. So whenever I see something on ADSB, I'm like, okay, that looks interesting. I think I'm gonna go. And sometimes I get there and I've been able to shoot. And then other times, like you, I've driven down. I'm like, man, isn't there supposed to be flights today? And we'll stay parked for like an hour, 2 hours, and then I'll realize that there's nothing flying that day. They all had left in the afternoon the day before. So
Yeah. So
sometimes it's hit or miss.
Key
Um,
West is
yeah, definitely. What what other locations have you spotted at?
in Florida, the US, the world.
Oh, wherever. I mean, what's the farthest that you've flown to spot?
15 hours. But
Wow.
I've been all over. I've been 3 or 4 times to Virginia to go shoot at Oceana. Really amazing to photograph at. Lemoore in California. MAS North also in California. That's in San Diego. Um, Key West. There's too many to remember them all right now. But been to RAF Lakenheath, Nellis. I think that's right now.
Yeah. The Lake and Heath Jets are in red flag this coming month.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Some
Yeah,
cool
for
guys.
sure. Um, let's see. Gabriel Repre. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but uh, I'm sorry. He says, "What's your favorite spotting location at MIA?"
I think Cargo U, I'd say. Just like being really close to the planes, the cargo jets, 740 commercial airliner. So it's always good to pilot. It's amazing to see the over there. But
Yeah,
I also like hanging around El Dorado, around the South Runway. That's a pretty cool. The only problem with
yeah.
the
El Dorado's. Sorry, what did you say?
saying the only problem with the cargo area is just not really allowed to be there. So you kind of gotta lay low and not draw attention to yourself, not do anything dumb, don't litter, the basic stuff.
Yeah, definitely. What's your we had talked about this a little earlier before the podcast, but yeah, the U Cargo U is a good spot to go to. It is official business only because people are there working, so it's a good idea not to draw attention when you're up there, and don't litter. Last time I was up there, I did see a lot of trash. I don't know if that was workers or if that was spotters. But if I go to a location, I normally take a bag with me or a trash bag because we are as spotters, and not everyone thinks that way, but I consider myself a steward of aviation. So I'll try to clean up. If I see it's a little messy and I see that there's a trash can nearby, I'll try to pick up a few things and then throw it in the trash can, or I'll just have a trash bag in my trunk in a little box so it doesn't roll around everywhere. And I'll pick up whatever that's there, put it in the bag, put it in the box, and then when I get closer to a trash can, I'll go and dump it. Because where one FOD is a major issue with aviation, um, and even though we don't think, well, I don't think a piece of paper is really going to cause any damage to an aircraft, especially as big as a 747. But the birds that are chasing that piece of paper is probably going to do some damage to an aircraft. So, um, the best thing is to do is not leave a mess wherever you go. And this should be kind of common sense for pretty much anywhere out in the outdoors. Um, let's see, Stephen G. Photog. He asked, "What do you think military aviation or spotting photography looks like in the next 3 years?"
I think in the next, unfortunately, we're gonna have to start looking deeper into pictures and make AI. I think that's a big threat to our hobby and to our passion, especially like as a journalist. The picture that I'm working really hard to get, someone could just type them in ChatGPT and get. and it loses the fun of it. But unfortunately, military aviation, I think 3 years we'll still have a little bit of diversity. But I'm saying in the next 10, just F-35.
Yeah,
That jet is
yeah,
replacing the Harrier, the Hornet, the F-16, a bunch of stuff.
yeah. That is the unfortunate truth. The F-35 and the U.S. government in general. I don't like the idea that we are becoming a two aircraft military. I mean, I don't have any say in the matter. You know, I don't work for a defense department or anything, but I would have liked to see more variety. The F-35A we had mentioned, that's going to the Air Force. So yeah, that is replacing all the Air Force jets, all the F-16s. I mean, they are also 35 years old, so
Yeah,
it's
makes
probably for the best. But even the F-15s, the older F-15s, are being replaced with the F-35. Um, and I don't know where the F-15EX is going. I think there's a few squadrons that are going to have that. Maybe I don't know if the National Guard is going to get those, um, but that's not. It doesn't look too bright for the future.
yeah.
And all the Marines are getting F-35 B or C variants, um, which is replacing most of the F-18s, and the Navy is going to F-35 also. So, like you said,
Yeah.
I'm sure the F-35 is going to be the bird of choice. Um, but I hope, and just like what you caught at the Sidewinder, I hope that there will be painted F-35s.
That's the biggest problem right now. They 99% exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that leads me to my next question. Yoast Aviation had said, should painting jets be normalized again?
I think it should be promoted between the
Definitely.
squadrons. I think it's a way to within squadrons say, "Hey, I have the best looking jet. No, mine looks better. Green, that green's nicer than your orange." Stuff like that. But also, you take it to an air show. People are like, "Look at that jet. It looks so cool." Gray jet. I'm not complaining, but I know it doesn't draw as much as something that's painted that has a customizable sense to it. That's creating maybe heritage or history, and there's so much to show. They choose to just keep it gray.
Definitely. I do think that we should be promoting more jets in their colors. Hopefully, it doesn't do anything to take away from their stealth capabilities. You know, adding paint and weight and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna be a demo team and you're gonna go to an air show, you have to bring a painted jet.
Yeah.
You know, either something like the red tails just did, even something as minimal as just a red tail, um, that shows the heritage of the squadron, to something as cool as your the photo you caught at the Sidewinder of the what's that paint scheme? I'm trying to
Vandy
remember it right now.
one, the black F-18.
No, the F-35 you caught.
Yeah, that was the 65th aggressor from Nellis.
Yeah, and that's in their what's their paint scheme called?
I'm not too sure, but I think it's Arctic. Would be my guess.
Arctic. Okay, I thought it was like a flanker
Mm.
paint jet.
Oh
Well,
yeah, um, I think Russian flanker paint scheme.
yeah, I think I definitely think we should be painting more jets. I mean, I'm kind of biased. Down in Navy Key West, every F5 is painted. Um, and a few other squadrons, Navy squadrons, have their F5s painted, or an F-16. Like Fallon has an F-16 that's all black. The same thing for Nellis. They have that black F-16, which is very cool. Also, you don't normally get to see that too much. But yeah, speaking out there to every squadron, if you can hear me, paint your jets.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
The cool aspect differentiates it so much. You can I caught one that looks nothing like the rest. A uniqueness to it.
Definitely. Most definitely. Um, anyone that's in the live here, if you want to ask a question, we'll answer it. That's right, Rocket Man. Painted jets. It's gonna be on the next patch. We will paint jets for photos. I'll go to Home Depot and I'll grab random paint and I'll paint it for you. All right. Let's see. I don't have any other questions from the channel. Where can people find your photos?
So they're all on my Instagram, the airplane spotter, and you're a part. You could find some of them there. But that's about it. I was getting a website. I kind of gave up on it. Got a little lazy, but I think I'm gonna try to and get it done.
That would be
One of the
cool.
things I Yeah, one of the things I really don't like about Instagram is the compression. Like the pictures, much quality just by being posted there. But something we got to deal with. It's okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate with Instagram. I don't know if you've checked their settings. I mean, they've. It seems like after every update, there's always new settings and settings being reset. But if you go into your settings, there's something I'm trying to find here
Load at the
in the
highest quality.
settings right now. Yeah, to upload at highest quality. So, does anyone have any questions? Rocket Man, yeah, we had covered that. The airplane spotter will be joining us. Thomas will be joining us at McDill at the end of this month. I too will be there, and a few other Miami folks will be there. I think 10 Mile Final will be there. That's Alex Ceballos, Cebollita. Uh, so yeah, anything else? Thomas, you got anything else new?
Uh, uh, I wanted to show you guys kind of. This is part of my hobby. I don't know if you can do it too well, but collect these models. Most are 1:72 scale. To show you this one, because we got to see it flying just last week, and it's Vandy one.
Oh, Vandy. Yeah, that's cool.
Good looking jet. But yeah, thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties within the channel. I don't have any control out of that on Instagram. Hopefully, this streaming and will correct any of our video or audio problems that we've had in the previous episodes. Um, it was a pleasure talking to you. I hope we can meet up at McDill or at Miami, or whenever you're gonna go
We'll make
spot,
sure
let me know,
we'll
and
do it.
I'll try to meet you out there. But yeah, thank you for joining. Um, definitely looking forward to the rest of your photos from the trip last week. And
Mhm.
thank you, everyone, for. Oh, Rocket had mentioned, what's your favorite model?
I gotta bring you guys up here for this one, but it's this one right here. It's a 1:32 scale f14 from the Jolly Rogers. This is a 72 scale, just for
Wow.
comparison. It's pretty big. But I think it's got to know. I'm a huge fan of the F14. These are all F14s in this line right here. But there's a lot of other stuff. There's some Hornets, Anthems, more Navy stuff, Blackjacks, Anchors, F-35s, F-104s.
Wow, that's pretty extensive and really awesome collection you got there. Are you putting
Yeah,
these
it's been
Are you putting these planes together?
90% of them are die cast, so all I'm putting together is just the gear.
Okay.
But yeah,
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Very cool. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that. That's so you've basically you've photographed or you've really enjoyed an aircraft and you've gone out and bought the model for it.
yeah. A lot of them, it's just I find them interesting. Maybe it's to see them because they flew before I was even born.
Hmm.
I never got the chance to say that's still my favorite jet. I want to be able to look at it. I want to see it. I want to collect it. But
For
usually, what
sure.
I'm trying to do more nowadays is if I see something, I know there's a model, I try to buy it. It's a pretty recollection because I can look at it and be like, oh, I remember seeing that jet on the side, something fun. Or
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I have a model that I'm been trying to build for a while, and I haven't gotten around to it because you have to build it. It takes a few hours. What I have been doing since I started aviation photography in the military side, um, if I've photographed a squadron, I go out and I try to find their patch, and I've been collecting their patches. I haven't collected many coins, but I have received a lot of coins from some really awesome people that I've talked to, and so I have very small collection of coins. But hey, I'm not opposed to that either because the detail on coins are
yeah,
just 1,000% over like a regular patches. So it's an awesome piece of kind of history also.
yeah. I've been trying to do the same. My collection's not the best, and you need to find a better spot. There's cool ones over there, and I wanted to show you one. My friend Aviation was out there on the sidewind day. After we got done with the day, he's like, "Oh, since you saw the 65th, the aggressors, the F-35, he gave me this one.
Oh
Pretty cool."
man, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been trying to do the thing to collect, and also just recently, pilots started reaching out. So that a couple pilots that were out here for a flyover for the Orange Bowl, December 3rd year, they sent
Hmm.
me patches. And funnily enough, the pilot of the F-35C I was talking about, the Tomcat, sending me the ring during the flight. So that's going to be my first
Oh, very cool.
patches. Yeah, really excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will gladly trade photos for patches.
It's a pretty good hobby for us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, awesome. All right. I hope you can get some more swag. When I get some swag made for the 305th Photography Squadron, I will send it over to
Thank
you.
you.
but I think I have. I have to see if I have patches, but I'll bring if I find a patch that I have left over, I'll bring it out to McDill. I don't think I've given you a patch, or maybe you haven't received a patch from the 305th yet. It's our local group here. It's a bunch of some local photographers in Miami and Broward,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'll give you that patch when I find it in one of my boxes here. But thank you
Appreciate it.
again.
Thank
Thanks for joining. Um, Great to learn about Flap International. Looking forward to maybe seeing some photos and articles. If you could probably post it or just send it to me,
you.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it'd be cool to see. And maybe we'll have to get your dad on a podcast so he can talk more about journalism. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Maybe have some new subscribers for Flap.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, thank you, Thomas.
For
Uh,
having me.
thank you everyone for joining, and we'll be back next month on the 5th, I believe, of. Oh, I'm sorry, on the 2nd of April. We'll have a new photographer that we haven't announced yet. We'll be announcing that next week.